Definitely. Which one is that? Which one is that? As soon as my readers get together, it'll be all right. But I definitely thank the Most High for allowing me to come before you one more time. It's definitely an honor and a privilege. Definitely thank the Lord for all of you. I just know that the Most High is good. I consider, where the Most High has brought this synagogue from its conception to where it is now, and it's come a long way. It's come an extremely long way. When I was in California, when we were in California, I had an opportunity to go back to the place where I used to watch live streaming, back in '08, and I just kind of reflected on, how I was back then, how I am now, and just how far we've become, or how far we've come, and just looking back at what was my mindset and the things that I've wanted for myself, because initially when everybody comes in, you have this amazing zeal. Your fire is through the roof. You want to learn everything you can as quick as you can. You want to do everything you can. But then, for the average of people, it seems, including myself, it seems that over time, you can, if you're not careful, you can kind of taper off. You can plateau. If you lose that zeal, if you allow yourself to get comfortable and not remember where you've come, you can allow yourself to lose that zeal. Amen. And I just thank the Lord for just that little time where I was able to reflect and just think back to, okay, this is where I used to come. When my car broke down, this is where I used to hustle to ride my bike just to hear the word. This is where I used to run to or walk to. But then when you move here, then you got the synagogue is here, and then you got your car, so everything is rolling. So it's easier. So it's easier to become complacent when you have everything at your disposal. But then it kind of shows you where where you're really at. So I just thank the Lord for bringing me into remembrance and having me confront it's just some things about my own self that I've noticed since I came in. But it just brings me to a point of where I was wrong at in the beginning was thinking that I had it all right then and there, thinking that I was saved from the very beginning, thinking that, okay, I'm good. I had a whole lot of doctrines in my own mind, thinking that I was good and just all I needed was to get baptized. And I already had back then I already had the Holy Ghost. I just had to get baptized to get sealed. And when you finally realize it, that it was just there's no way you could have been saved. There's no way I could have been saved back then. No way I could have been saved when we didn't even have the knowledge. When I didn't have the knowledge, and just didn't even know an inkling. Still had my own little personal doctrines in my own head. There's no way I could have been saved. So when I finally realized that, it kind of gave me some pause. Like, man, I'm up here thinking that that I'm just good to go, and if I pass away, I'm going on to the kingdom, but without no knowledge. I mean, just an inkling of knowledge, not even close to the knowledge we have now. So I thank the Lord for having patience, for just giving us the knowledge that we have now, and just looking at you can start off good, you can have all kind of you can have an immense amount of zeal at the beginning, but how long is that going to last? I've seen a lot of people come through these doors since '07. A lot of people come and go, like, great testimonies. I want to see the Lord in peace. I'm going on to the end, all this stuff. And the majority of them are not here. So, I thank the Lord for just having the mind to, even though I've been confronted with so many different things, and the way my mind is, I tend to overthink a whole lot of things and analyze things, question things, get curious about a whole lot of things, which have led me to a lot of mistakes. But I just thank the Lord for not giving me a mind to just, okay, well, just go, give up, do like everybody else that you seen come through here do. So I thank the Lord. Give me Hebrews. That's right. Give me Hebrews chapter 10. Relative. Really. Matter of fact, but back in the day, we that relative used to be short, or we used to have a word that was called reli, short for relative. So we used to say relative. I say reli. So give me Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 19 in the book of Relly. And then you give me Mark 13 and about 10. Give me what you got. Hebrews chapter 10, 19.
Amen.
I won't be before you long. I just want a little space. Just some things to consider. Because a whole lot of times we get caught up in, I want to find, which is absolutely important. You have to find Jesus in the scripture. But a lot of times, including myself, you need to be brought into remembrance of things. Because you can go 100 miles an hour, but forget, step one or step two. Because you lost. It's no longer in your memory. But go ahead.
Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the most Kadesh by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way.
A new and living way.
Which he hath consecrated for us, through the veil, that is to say, his flesh, and having an high priest over the house of God. Let us draw near with a true heart, in full assurance of faith.
Go ahead.
Having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience, and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering.
He said hold fast. He didn't say lose it. He said hold fast our profession.
Let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering.
Right.
For he is faithful that promised.
Without wavering. Just like Father Abraham. It said he didn't do what? He didn't stagger. He didn't stagger. He didn't, that's the same thing, waver. He didn't stagger. He didn't waver. He was steady. He was focused. He was focused. When the Most High said move, he moved. When the Most High said stop, he stopped. He didn't waver. And that's the point that we all got to get to. If we want the kind of friendship that Father Abraham had with the Father, we have to do the same things Abraham did. And sometimes it can get hard because we look at, we may think that we're living in different times as far as, things are different now than they were back then. Faith is faith. Obedience is obedience. The same type of faith you got to have that he had back then, it's the same type of faith that we got to have right now. The same obedience that he had back then is the same type of obedience that we got to have now. It's nothing different. Time doesn't change obedience. Time doesn't change faith. You have to have the same thing. Same thing that Abraham had, that's what we have to have. Or we can forget it. Because without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High. It's impossible. You might as well just go on in the world. And I've been guilty of that too. Just you may tend to doubt from time to time. Like, man, should I step out? Should I do this? Should I do that? Well, look what Father Abraham did. He staggered not. He didn't waver. It wasn't nothing off tempo or shuddery with him. He moved, and that's where we all have to be. That's the point that we all have to be. So when the Most High says move, we move. When he says stop, we stop. When he says go, we go. Keep going.
And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is,
right,
but exhorting one another.
Read that again. Not
forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is.
I thank the Most High for putting that on preacher's heart, so that on Sabbath days, we all remain as one. Because I mean, even me, you can have a tendency to kind of like withdraw and get distant sometimes. But I just thank the Lord for bringing us back into that. Okay, snap out of it, wake up. We're all in this together. Either we're going to be one body, one family, or we're all going to go our separate ways. Right. Keep going.
But exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching.
Exhorting one another. You can't exhort and be a body if we're all separate. That's one thing I had to realize. That's one thing we all had to realize. You can't exhort somebody if you ain't around them or if you don't communicate with them. He said, do what?
But exhorting one another, and so much the more
as you see
the day approaching. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth.
Willfully.
There remaineth no more sacrifice for sins.
Right.
But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and a fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries.
If you sin willfully, that's what you should look for now.
He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses.
He that despised Moses' law died without mercy.
Of how much more sore punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy who hath trodden under foot the Son of God? So
he's saying, well, what do you think is going to happen to you? If them folks die without mercy who just despise Moses' law, What's going to happen to us if we just step on the Son of God like what he stood for, what he did don't matter, just completely just disregarding everything he did. If we do that, what do you think is going to happen to us? And we do that by what? Disobedience, not having faith, slacking on things. Go ahead.
And hath counted the blood of the covenant
as what?
Wherewith he was sanctified, an unkodesh thing.
An unkodesh thing, like it ain't nothing. It's worthless.
And hath done despite unto the Spirit of grace. For we know him that hath said, Vengeance belongeth unto me. I will recompense, saith the Lord.
Right.
And again, the Lord shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
It's fearful. But, I mean, truth be told, that's not a fearful thing for everybody. Because if it was, then there'd be a difference. Even in the world. These people here, they don't fear the Lord. There's no way that they could do the things they do with the fear of the Lord. No way. It's not possible. Keep going.
But call to remembrance the former days, in which, after you were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions. Partly whilst ye were made a gazing stock both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly whilst ye became companions of them that were so used.
Right.
For ye had compassion of me in my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods.
What verse you at?
34.
Okay.
Knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and an enduring substance. Cast not away therefore your confidence.
Don't cast it. Don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. Have confidence. We're serving the only true and living God, the Most High. I mean, that's where we got to have our confidence. We can't have our confidence in family and friends, our job. That stuff don't mean nothing. Our own, like how smart we think we are. Our confidence can't be in that. Our confidence can't be in our physical abilities. Our confidence has to be in the Most High God. Our faith toward Him, and what He did, and how we have to follow Him. That's where our confidence has to be. Our confidence can't be in anything else. It can't be, because nothing else is worthy. Nothing else is worthy of our confidence. We're just flesh and bones. As smart as we think we are, that's as smart as the Most High allows us to be. So where should our confidence be? Where should our fear be? I was telling someone, the fear that we have of people and different things. We have to understand we serve the one that controls every situation. So let's say you fear someone, you fear a person, some at your school you fear, somebody in your job you fear. We serve the one that controls that person that you fear. He controls them. So he can say, okay, well, the person that you're so scared of, I can cause that person to get in a car wreck. I can cause that person to lose their minds. I can cause that person to meet an even crazier person. I can cause this. But yet still we focus on what we see. We focus, I'm so scared of this person. Well, okay, who should you be fearing the most? That person or the one that can control that person? The one that can let that person meet an even crazier person, to where that crazy person think, well, man, that person's crazier than me. So where should our fear really be? Because when we have more fear toward that person or toward that situation than we do the one that controls that person or the whole entire situation, we just show him that, man, he ain't nothing. That's what we show him, because we're looking at this insignificant person or situation with so much fear, and we forget this man controls that. He controls the whole universe. He controls minds. He can say mind switch to being crazy or mind switch to being not crazy. He controls all that. But what do? We have a tendency to fear situations, fear people. And yet still we fail to realize when we do that we short the Most High God. Keep going.
Cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward. For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, you might receive the promise.
Just like Abraham. You got to have patience. You got to have patience.
For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him.
He don't have no pleasure in you. That's why you can't cast away your confidence. You can't put down your faith. This ain't something that you can put down and pick back up. All the confidence issues, the problem, and I'm guilty of that too. I've been guilty of that. Confidence issues, things of that nature. But we can't allow ourselves to lose confidence, because when you lose confidence and you lose faith and you start fearing stuff, then you start drawing back. And what we have an example of drawing back, because we have an example of a man that died when somebody drew back. When who? Uriah. Uriah died because what happened? Because David said, when the battle gets hot, draw back. When the battle gets hot, we can't allow ourselves to draw back. When we look at that person on our job, the person that we may knew in the past, or this or that, this situation, this circumstance, we can't let that cause us to draw back. Because what's going to happen? We have an example of that when somebody drew back. Somebody died. So he said, what about drawing back?
Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him.
Most High ain't going to have no pleasure in you, because you drew back.
But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. To the saving of the soul. We go on forward. You have to go forward. You have to see this thing through to the end. You have to. You can't say, "Oh man, I've been this kind of person in my life. I've done these kind of things." We all look. Everybody know. Well, if everybody was being truthful, everybody know what people have done based on the confessions. So basically, we all know who we were and the kind of person we were. So am I gonna say, "Oh, based on what I did, I can't be saved, so I'm gonna just give up"? See this thing through to the end. Don't stop and give up. Don't stop. I've had to tell myself that. Don't stop. See this thing through. See this thing through to the end. We used to have a saying when I did run track. This was a long time ago. Long time ago. But we had a saying. Still believe I beat 90%. But we had a saying: finish strong. Finish strong. I saw some races where people had no chance at winning. They had no chance. I wasn't involved. I wasn't involved in this race. But I particularly remember a race where guys dropped the baton, and their anchor leg picked it up and was running the race like he was still in the race. He was running the race like I can still win this thing. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I don't speak of myself. That was Numsi. But I remember watching this guy. I'm like, why is he running like that? Why is he running? He gonna lose. And that's the point where so many people can get to. Like, why are you running? You gonna lose. But not him. He was thinking, man, I'm gonna finish this thing out. Win, lose, or draw. I'm gonna finish this thing out. I'm gonna run this race like I can still win. But we get to a point where we get so defeated where it's like, man, if some of us were in that race, we just stop, drop the time, like, man, I'm done. What's the point? We got to finish strong. We can't allow our situation or circumstance to cause us to draw back. We got to finish the race. Finish strong. Don't just give up. It's easy to give up. It's easy, man. But trust me, it takes so much. When you got so much stuff going on and when you've been confronted with so many different issues, it takes so much to keep going. It takes so much to keep going. It takes everything to keep going. It takes nothing to stop. It's easy. Stopping is easy. That kid, he could have stopped. He could have stopped. But he kept going. He kept running. But then that made an impression on me as a young kid back then. Like, man, he had heart. He had heart. Even though he knew that he wasn't going to win, he still ran pretty much like, he ran like Abraham. He man staggered not. Give me Mark 13. Mark 13 and 10. It was a long time ago. Mark 13 and 10.
Amen.
What does that say?
And the gospel must first be published among all nations.
Uh-huh.
But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak.
Uh-huh.
Neither do ye premeditate.
Uh-huh.
But whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye.
Uh-huh.
For it is not ye that speak, but the Ruach HaKodesh.
Right.
Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and children shall rise up against their parents.
And so many folks, they get scared as far as how they're going to respond to people in situations oh, what am I going to tell my job if I can't make it to work because of a Sabbath day or because of Kadesh day or because of this or because of that? What am I going to tell my job? Why? I mean, or what am I going to tell my parents? Or people spend so much time trying to justify themselves or thinking that they owe somebody something. And that's what we had to understand. We don't owe nobody nothing out here. You don't owe nobody nothing. It don't matter. I mean, I don't know who it is, but I got some crackpot calling me talking about, he stole my bike. He keeps leaving messages on my phone. I'm like, man, who is this nutcase? I don't know. He's showing up as, I got a bike, but yeah, I steal it. But this thing keeps showing up as private numbers, so I don't know who it is. He like, you stole my bike. I just want you to know I called the cops. I hope it ain't you, is it? Okay. Man, I don't know who it is, but I don't know if it's a joke or it's for real, but they telling me they called the cops or they like, I just want you to know I called the cops. I'm like, man, what is this? And they keep calling. So I just set my phone to block all private numbers at this point. Because he keep calling, leaving messages. He stole my bike. Man, I don't know. Man, this is some weird stuff going on here now. But man, I thank the Lord for just having a mind not to quit. I think the Lord having a mind not to quit. We don't owe any of these people anything. I don't owe these people no explanation, regardless of what I did in my past. Did I steal a bike? I may have stole a bike years ago, but and some other things. But I don't believe he called me for that years ago. If he is, I don't know how he found me. But I mean, but even still, I don't. What do I owe? Do I gotta buy him a bike or something now? I don't owe him anything. But we don't owe these people out here anything. Yet still, we feel that we do. I don't feel I owe him anything. He calls me, I ain't gonna answer. I'm just keep blocking the number. But I mean, we're always trying to figure out a way to explain ourselves to people, explain ourselves to our parents, explain ourselves to our spouses, explain ourselves, to our children, explain ourselves to our jobs. What do we owe these people out here? You only owe one person, the Most High God. You only owe Yeshua. He's the only person you owe. So looking at, I owe everybody an explanation. Forget these people, because chances are they don't care about you anyway. They don't care. The majority, and just remember how you were. When you were in the world, you didn't care about folks. All you wanted was your own gain. I know that's how I was. I was big in that. I didn't care about people. The only reason I got close to people was so I could get something I wanted or establish a connection, and I was done with them. Something happened to them, hey, I just find somebody else. Just like a virus. If that host died, find another host, oh well, keep moving. So, I mean, you got to understand. These people out here, they care, and something go over your head, but these people out here, they don't care about you. You may think your parents love you. You may think your spouse loves you. You may think your children love you or whomever. You may think these people love you. They don't love you. Because if they loved you, why would they be trying to get you to stop? Why would they try to turn you from salvation? Because it's hellfire if you don't obey. It's hellfire. You claim you love somebody and you want them to go there? You want them to experience that for eternity and there's no way you come back from that? And you tell me you love me? There's no way you can love me and believe that there is a heaven and hell. Because if you did, you would know that that's some place you don't want to send your loved ones. So how can you say you love me and you're okay with me going there? You're trying to get me to go there because every time I say this is what I'm standing on and you try to get me to compromise, that's where you're trying to send me. And you got to understand, these people out here, they don't love you. They don't love you. Because if they did, they wouldn't be trying to get you to go to hell. They wouldn't be trying to turn you. Your friends, your family, they wouldn't be trying to get to turn you. Yet still, we look at people, I still love them. They're still family. They're still good people. They're not good people. You're trying to tell me a good person wants you to go to hell? How can that person be good? A good person is plotting and planning to have you spend eternity in hell, and they're a good person? I hope nobody in here is that stupid, to where you actually think that there's somebody good that wants to send you and themselves to hell. Whether it's your children trying to turn you and twist you and flip your mind, whether it's your parents trying to turn you and twist you and flip your mind, whether it's your spouses, your grandparents, your job, your friends, anybody that tries to turn your mind from the truth, they're an enemy. And that's how we have to look at them. An enemy. An enemy. What other kind of person would want that kind of an end for anyone? Only a pure blood enemy. Only. Keep going.
And shall cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake.
Right.
But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
That's what this is about. That's what this is all about. Right. You can start off real good. Real good. But how you going to finish? That is the question. We look at, being saved. You ain't saved until you finish. That's right. You think, I've obtained salvation. How you tell me you obtained salvation and you still alive? How you going to tell me you're saved and you're still living? But that ain't the case. That ain't the case. We even look at Yeshua. He didn't become the Son of God until when? Until he died. That's when it was finished. That's why he said it is finished. He fulfilled everything that he had to. That's the same thing that we have to. We have to fulfill everything we have to, and then it's finished. But while we yet live, it ain't finished yet. But we're still running. This race is still happening. We are still running this race. It ain't over yet. Along the way, things are going to happen. People are going to fall off. But you got to finish the race. Because if you don't finish the race, there's no way you can be saved. The only chance of being saved, you got to finish the race. Can't stop. No matter what happens, no matter who comes, no matter who goes, no matter what happens, you got to finish the race. Because if you stop, you just drew back. You drew back. And the Most High ain't going to have no pleasure in you. Because you gave up. You gave up. I thank the Lord for that mind, because so many times we can have our situation, our circumstance outweigh the outlook of salvation and the outlook of the end. We can have our beginning and our middle outweigh the end. But the end has to be greater. We have to look at the end as being, that's what I'm working toward. I'm not working toward my beginning. I'm not working toward when I first came in here. That's past. I'm looking at, okay, how am I going to end this thing? How am I going to finish this thing? Because we can look at the little situation we're in, finances, relationships, people, and look at, okay, this is above the end. It don't stop there. It don't stop with marriage. It don't stop with children. It don't stop with, I just bought a house. I just bought a car. Just got my 401k, my investment. It don't stop there. It stops when you die. That's when the race ends. That's when the game is finished. So while you yet run this race, while you yet live, how are you running? Are you running to stop? Are you purposely running to give up? No, well, I already know. Because we look at every single, every Kadesh day we've had, every building we've had. There's always been a group of people that have not made it to that next building. There's always been a group of people or a person that has not made it to that next feast. And we look at, even among us, which one of us is not going to make it to the next feast? It's unfortunate that's going to be the case, though. That among us, there's going to be someone that's not going to make it to the next feast. Or somebody that's not going to make it to the next building. Why? Because you're not looking at the end. You're looking at your situation now. And how, I can't handle it. I can't get over it. I'm just this or that. You're not looking at the end. You're not looking at the big picture. You're looking at my situation right now, and you've caused that to blind your mind and just outweigh the end, outweigh the big picture, outweigh salvation. That's something we can't do. We can't do that. Our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We've heard this time and time again. Jacob wrestled all night. He didn't stop. He said, "I'm gonna finish this thing. I'm gonna wrestle until you bless me. I ain't gonna let you go. I'm gonna finish this thing. I'm gonna finish strong. I ain't gonna give up." And I know in our minds that thought always crosses. Do I give up? Do I stay? Do I go? What are your options? What's out there? What's out there? There ain't nothing out there. What are you gonna go back to do? What are you gonna go back to do? Go clubbing again? Go fornicating, having sex again? That's gonna get old after a while. It ain't gonna last forever. Everything ain't gonna work forever either. So it's just a means to an end. What you gonna do? Go back to rob and steal? You gonna go back and start killing folks? What's out there? There's nothing out there that is even worth being out there. Yeah, maybe it was fun while it lasted. Yeah, but there's no future in that. All that stuff leads to is just death. And what fulfillment is in it? Even when I remember even when I was out there in the world, the stuff gets dull. Like, man, I don't want to keep doing this. Every weekend you go out there looking for a club, go out there looking for a female, you go out there and drink. Okay, Thursday's coming, Friday. All right, call some folks up. Okay, give me some drink. Do whatever you want to do. Go to a club, whatever, and then Friday night do it. Saturday night, Sunday you go chill and maybe cruise or go to a park or something, just kick it or whatever. Monday, first day of the week, and do the same thing. It just keeps going. It's an endless cycle. And these people, there's so many people's minds that are trapped in a continuing cycle. That's all they do. That's all they look for. Oh, what's cracking this weekend? Oh, we're going to the club. We're going to female's house. All right, but it's an endless cycle. When do you break the cycle? The cycle has to be broken. In here, the cycle should be broken. Because out there, the cycle continues. It's an endless cycle. It's going to lead you straight to hell. Straight to hell. So there ain't nothing out there. So if you think about giving up, for what? What are your options? Every time those thoughts come through my head, I think of, do I want to spend eternity in hell? I can't do that. I can't. Because I can't get out of that. You look at, okay, situations, you get put in prison, you might be able to break out. You get yourself in a situation, you might be able to get out. But there's no chance. There is no might. There is no maybe. You can't get out of that prison. You can't get out of that. No way. So when you look at giving up and stopping, is that what you want? You want to go back into a world that is full with evil and hatred, murder and envy, fake, false people, just like we were, covering up for what they really were, trying to hide what they've done. It's a world full of people because we were the same way. Some are still the same way. We were the same way. I didn't tell anybody about the stuff I did out there. For what? I got to keep a perception. Can't tell my friends, who I'm up in age with now about stuff I did in childhood. You know what they're gonna look at? You know how they're gonna look at me? So what do? You tell nobody nothing. Only person that knows about it is me, them, or me and whoever was there. Because you got a perception. So what do? You build an entire world around falsehood and lies. You become a completely different person. It's a bunch of psychopaths walking around out here. A bunch of psychopaths. Because they've created a whole nother world that is not them. So when you look at that in psychology, they're schizophrenic. These people got multiple personality disorders. These people are lunatics out here. They're lunatics. And you want to go back to a world that is full of just the crazies? A bunch of lunatics out there, the living dead? These people are they're insane. Because there's no limit to what a sinner will do. There's no limit. I don't even know why people even out there even try to have standards. For what? You're going to hell anyway. Let it all hang out. Get buck wild with it. You up here having moral standards and you're going to burn in hell for eternity. What are you trying to do? You think that the little good that you think you're trying to do is going to get you in? There's nothing to get you in. Nothing to get you in except obeying the word. That's the only key. That's the only key. All other keys, they're false. This is the only key to get you in the door. Yeshua is the only way to get to get in. He is the door. So if you don't go through by him, there's no little amount of goodness you can get in. So if anybody's trying to think, oh, well, my parents did do this, or my grandparents did do a little bit of this, maybe, there ain't no maybe. If they weren't under this gospel, and we are not the only ones with the gospel, but they weren't under the true gospel, there ain't no maybe. They're going to hell just like everybody else. There's no other possibilities other than obeying God's word that's going to get you in. You have to do that. And if that's not your mindset, why even attempt? If your mind ain't to finish the race, if your mind ain't to do this, then you might as well go on back out there. You might as well. If your mind ain't to finish strong, I encourage everybody to finish strong, but if that's not your mind, then why are you here? My intention, my mind, I pray the Most High continues to give me this mind. My intention is to finish the race, to see this thing through to the end. Because that's where our justification is going to be at the end. We don't, like we heard preacher say before, Everybody's waiting to see the end of this thing, to see who's going to be justified, to see what's going to happen at the end. But if you quit and give up, you may have been able to make it. But since you gave up, no, ain't no chance now. Go on back out there and go to hell. I gotta see this thing through to the end. I got to know. I gotta know what my end is gonna be. And I know for sure that if I give up, I know what my end is gonna be. I know it's gonna be hellfire. So I gotta keep the faith. I gotta see this thing through to the end. To the end. This thing got to be to the end. Because if it's not, then one thing is for sure, you know where you're going. If you don't finish and you give up and you stop, you know for sure where you're going. You're going to hell. Like these folks, live stream, YouTube, all these, all the people that have been cast out and left, whether they want to admit it or not, whether it's hard to digest, they know where they're going. They know. After you leave this truth, where you gonna go? They got a song out there. Once you leave this truth, where you gonna go? There ain't nothing out there. There's zip. There's nothing out there. So I say, hold fast your profession. Keep your confidence. Don't give up. Because if you give up, that's certain death. If you draw back, same thing happening to Uriah is going to happen to you. Certain death. Ain't no coming back from that. I encourage each and every one of y'all to stand. Each and every one of you. Now, I'm going to get out the way. I definitely thank the Most High for allowing me this space. I appreciate the Most High. Appreciate Yeshua, Mashiach. Thank the Most High for preacher. Thank the Most High for the ministers. Thank the Most High for all of you. No matter what happens, no matter what kind of thoughts arise in your hearts, no matter what kind of thoughts arise in your minds, I encourage you all to see this thing through to the end. And if anybody's contrary-wise, we'll find out about it shortly. Thank the Lord.
Amen.